permanently to Brazil, to a state called Bahia, over to the west side. I've gotten the chance to do short-term stuff out there for over a decade now. When the Bible says that the fruit is white unto harvest, it's unreal to see what happens in some of these places. And what's amazing is seeing where God is starting to work with these people already, because so many of them, their hearts are wide open to this. They want to know, they want to hear, they want to be a part of what God is doing. The advance has only gone so far because there's nobody there to really tell them. It's huge, it's amazing, and it's sad to see where the work is in many cases stalling just because of the restraints on the locals for time. They were hoping to open up those gates and to get as many people as possible to be discipled so that they can help continue opening these gates for people, that they can meet King Jesus, that they can meet the King of Glory in their lives. We're already seeing where God is doing huge things in these neighborhoods, in these communities, to reach people with the gospel. I mean, it's astounding. But like I said, right now it's stalling. What we do with this, we can't do it alone. We can't do it without you. The number one thing is always prayer. We always need prayer, because at the end of the day, it's God who makes us succeed or not succeed. And so prayer is huge. And we ask all of you to be a part of praying for this. And the idea is that we're working to tell people about Jesus. And so we rely on people like you. And so if God puts that on your heart, say, hey, I want to support what they're doing here. I want to be a part of this, beyond prayer. I want to be an answer to prayer. You can do that by going to www.worldoutreach.org/350. World Outreach, all the gifts are tax deductible and whatnot. It's possible to set up one-time gifts, but it's also possible to set up monthly recurring gifts as well. And those monthly recurring gifts, that is our biggest prayer request right now, because it's those small monthly donations that keep us there. Whatever God has given you to be gracious with, it's those small recurring gifts that keep us being able to stay there month after month, year after year, to reach these villages that don't know Jesus, that don't have anybody else sharing the gospel with them, discipling them.
You can support Matthew and his family by going to worldoutreach.org/350.
Back then, it was a necessity. You had to contribute. You had to do what was necessary to keep the family unit. Today, it's just much, much different. Both parents are working. There's a great abundance compared to what my grandparents went through when my grandmother first came to this country.
I know.
They went through the depression. I mean, I guess it's kind of the unfortunate part, too. I grew up at my grandparents' knees. I mean, I heard the stories. That's, and that kind of
my grandparents lived with us. When my parents built their ranch house outside of San Diego, they had 2 master bedrooms, and one of them was for my mom's side of the family, grandparents, and whenever my dad's grandparents came to visit, I got thrown out of my room and I got to go,
But it's that relationship that's kind of missing now.
Yeah,
where families are so spread out apart. But right. I grew, and like I said, from my grandmother's knees. I learned what happened back, and appreciated and understood. Now it's just, they're saying, I think maturity for a guy is 26 years old.
Yeah.
Hell, I was in the service 4 years. I was married, had a kid on the way. Oh, wait a minute. And there are times I look at my wife and say, were we that bad when my daughter does something? So like, where did that come from? Were we that bad? She goes, no, things are just different. It's just, I don't know. The age, I guess, is like you said, I kind of concede it's got to be at a certain point, and it's different for each child. I think it's just customary, I guess, at 13 to be that deciding point.
Right.
Heck, bar mitzvahs weren't even around until 1864, I think is what I did.
Right.
or early 1800s. Now, Muslims, as soon as you can confess there's no other God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet, that's it. You're a man. It could be at any age. So, heck, even the government's changed, right? Used to drink when you're 18. Now it's 21. Yeah. Now you can't do it. By seriously, 26 in some states. It's like, what? Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, but you can still join the military at 16 with parental consent and 18 on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still do that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I see some 16-year-olds in the military now. Well, then again, the military is all different. So
yeah, it is.
They have their safe spaces. Wait a minute. You can't yell anymore. I wonder what basic training is like.
I have no idea.
Screaming and yelling when I was there.
Yeah, whenever I was in basic, they started coming out with the evolution of what they referred to as the blues card, which is where you pull it out, you hold it up, and you talk and you say on how you're operating under so much stress you can't handle it, and then they treat you with kid gloves for the rest of the day, maybe 2 days, and then after the set period of time, they hit you 10 times harder.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just well, it goes back. When did the pin thing happen? Was that under Obama?
The what?
I remember the pins. My Kathy's in the higher education here in Virginia, community college, right? I think it had to be 7-8 years ago when the teachers wore all kinds of pins, safety pins. And that represented she was a safe person to go to if you had a problem. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So I think it had to be during the Obama era, where it was a safe place. Like, really?
That is just
it's like, come on. When you have to grow up, you at some point that you have to take responsibility for who you are.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you. I'm a full believer. You turn 18, you get 2 years in the military. I don't care, Marines, Coast Guard, whatever you want to do. 2 years. You do a lot of growing up in the military when you're on your own without mommy or daddy.
Yep.
You learn how to take care of yourself and realize you make decisions and you're responsible for those choices.
Right.
Now, I was 19 when I signed up. But I mean, it's just, they keep pushing that post further and further down the line.
Yeah.
So, and it's a shame. It just hurts everybody.
Well, it hurts society as a whole.
Correct. It hurts the person. If you coddle them, it's just like, hold on a minute now. Babies having babies. That's even another just ridiculous. Yeah. It's kind of accepted. I'm like, what? When, in my mom's time, you went off somewhere. You went out of state. You lived with somebody. You were kind of shunned, right? You had to move out of the state and go somewhere else, and then come back, or they treat them as a sister. Or
even when my children were in high school. Okay, so we're going back. What? My son would be 10 years. So, and you go back 10 years. Mm-hmm. There were girls who were pregnant and they were showing up and showing off their baby bump to their friends.
Yeah.
What?
Look, I've said it before, and I'll probably get in trouble again. I blame Clinton when he said what the meaning of it is, and he went on Oprah. If you look at the news stuff about rainbow parties and all that other stuff, happened at that time. It happened at that was the turning point in the country where it was acceptable. Well, if the president did it, it must be okay. So, I'm sure you'll get hate mail there, Kinsey, or something. I'm sure.
That would be the first mail that I've got. I've been waiting for somebody to say something.
I've held that for a long time. That's the point where I remember it went crazy. It just went nuts as far as what became acceptable. And they kept pushing down that maturity level further. And it's just like, what are we doing here, people?
If you go to the guy has his own YouTube channel, it's
Mike Winger?
I think it's called The Beckett Cook Show.
Okay.
He was about as gay as you could possibly get.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Hollywood gay, all right? Was a gay in Hollywood. You know, writer, was plugged in, went to the right parties, the right everything. He has come to Christ.
Good.
And he has one show, I'd have to look it up again to see what it is, where he documents how the agenda was pushed on the American people. And they had a playbook to go by, especially in Hollywood, to infuse this and make it okay in the eyes of the American public. It wasn't like it just happened. It was an actual push.
Oh,
and a lot of the plays that they came out were from Rules from Radicals. I mean, they pages right out of it and use those rules. So,
well, I mean, it starts with commercials on TV. But yeah, I mean, you watch it. It's either two women, two men. It's like, whoa, what is going on? Yep. And it's not. It's just like they've made it acceptable, and that pushes that age. It's like, you know, I don't know.
Yep.
I guess that poses a question then. Does you being convinced or trained that certain things are actually right and acceptable, does that alleviate you on any level of accountability for what you do in that area?
When will your adventure begin? Join the Federation and become part of a mission to traverse to the skies. You can help our humanitarian missions and you can help our disaster response units. In a world where political discourse has left a void in our world's ability to help hurricane and other natural disaster victims, it's the role of the Federation to stand tall and make a difference. Shop the Federation Promenade and make your donation at trekfederation.com today.
Get smoked by J-Pound.
Before you rush, you need to flush. What? What I mean is, before you start your normal daily routine, wake up to a tall drink of water. That first glass will help flush out whatever toxins that settled in overnight and wakes up your organs. It's also better than a cup of coffee to shake off grogginess and get you energized right off the bat. Help kick your metabolism into gear and start the day hydrated. And while we're on the subject, starting the day with a glass of water also helps you feel full so you won't rush to the donuts as soon as you step inside the office. Stay hydrated, stay healthy, and remember, there can't be smoke without fire, so let's light it up.
Go to Smoke Show Fitness on Facebook or contact Smoke Show Fitness for personalized nutrition and fitness coaching. 405-240-1807.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
I guess that poses a question then. Does you being convinced or trained that certain things are actually right and acceptable, does that alleviate you on any level of accountability for what you do in that area?
No.
I think yes and no. In other words, you're still held accountable for your actions and what you've done. Right. And God knows exactly what you knew. And in a sense, I think people will find themselves when they're before God that they are both in the docket, the judgment seat, and they are also in the witness seat because their mind is now